Good morning, Rabbi Isai. We are holding in Menachos. First of all, you have to know which Menachos you are. Menachos Daf Lamed Zayin. We're going to be starting on Lamed Vav with the base. The last two lines, the Gemara says the following: Toner Rabbanon. Good Chodesh, everybody. Good Chodesh Adar. A little bit less time, but let's go into it. Toner Rabbanon Yotcha Zu Smoil. You put your tefillin on the one hand, the left hand. Time is small annually, maybe it's the right hand. Torah says there's one giving a few psukim. It says hand and right. That means the hand means left, right? So Yodi Yosto my hand made the land, and my right made the Shabayim. So you see the hand means left. Another pasuk of Yodo liyatet tishlachena. The pasuk is you take the left hand to hold the yoter. Yoter is the peg, and with the right you hit it. So again, yad means left. Why are you taking your left hand and removing your right? So it says over here again, yad refers to the left. So to go on with that, before we continue the shir today is Elu Nishmas. Think of a Shalom, Shalom, and Aliyah. Your to today. Here's Hashem. Says Zok to go on Zayin Udah. Rabbi Yaisi HaChoyrem Oimer. Rabbi Yaisi the Choyrem. Why is it called the Choyrem? So Rashi says his name is the Choyrem because he did not have a nose. His nose was cut off, so it's called a Choyrem. Charum is someone that the Choyrem was Meshuka, meaning it's like flat. So Taisa said, how can it be you call a moira with a name which is a derogatory name? So that's where he says Choyr means that's the name of his location. It came from a place called the Choyr. So Zog the Gemara, Matzinu Yamin Shnikra Yad. Even the right is also called Yad. Sheneemar Vayar Yosef Kishoshi's Oviv Yad Yaminoy. It says that Yosef saw he's putting his right hand. You see it's called hand? The other one, the hold. Yad Yamino Ikri, Yad Stomolo Ikri. It's Yad Yamino. But Yad Stam is the left. It says you tie and you write. Because usually you write with your right hand. You tie with your right hand. What? Oh, it's a majority. Majority. Because the kshira is with the right. So I'm not as well, because when you're tying with your right on your left hand. According to then the right hand is also called yad. How do you know they put in the left hand? The wing, exactly. He learns from Nason that it says it says you one of the yotcha with a hey. Usually you write yotcha, your hand is yud dalet chaf. But here you have yud dal chaf hey. Why is yotcha? Meaning yad keyo, the weaker hand, which is usually the left. Because always loshen nekevo, whenever we talk about using a female tense, means weaker. Tasha shkoicha kedekeva. So we mail yotcha with the hey, which refers to the keva, refers to the left hand. Maybe it means the powerful one, because it's yod, keyo, the hey and ches change around, so it's yad koyach. In other words, sometimes hey and ches to change around if I have a choice, but here I can explain it with the hey. It doesn't mean the powerful one; it means the weak. What was going to tell you? Someone who he's a gidim, he is lost a hand. He still puts on tefillin. Tanya doesn't have a hand. Put 2 minutes tefillin. From here, even a gidim needs to put on tefillin, even if he doesn't have. Doesn't have the left hand. What should he do? A discussion like where does he put it? But he have a read where he has to put tefillin. If he has no left hand at all, he puts on the right. What? He had a part of his hand that he put in tefillin. What was amazing to see was he put it tefillin on his own. He did not let anybody help him. And then the bigger thing, try to do it on your own. Try tomorrow to do it. To wrap the tefillin with one hand. Try to do it. He used to wrap the tefillin with one hand. I don't know how you do it. What?
Put it away.
Yeah, try to do it. Try to wrap the tefillin with one hand. It's very, very hard. So he used to do it. He did not let anybody help him. So okay, yeah, we do it. I do this. Torah bun. Eat it.
What's it saying? That's someone that's missing.
Yeah, they still have it tefillin.
So there's two things. There's someone that's missing a hand completely, and someone that has a hand, but it's like it's useless. So,
No.
Because the saying Gidim is that he has a hand, but it's useless. He can't.
No, Gidim l'chor means missing a hand.
No, because then there's Gidim and then Lazaya.
No, but Rashi says also
that he had, but
it's the same thing, right? Look, it's the same thing, just different losh. Look at losh Rashi. Rabbi is like Gidim. So Rashi chain lo yad doesn't have a hand.
No, on the bottom also says that he has, but it's
useful. Okay, maybe you could switch it. Okay. So what?
Because it says that if he doesn't,
maybe Rashi is able yad. Maybe we can say it doesn't have a functional hand. Could be.
But so Gidim is chayiv, but anyway at all.
Also chayav. That's what the Gemara says. The Gemara says that's a machlokes. So the Gidim is coming to say someone has no hand, right? Person who's a lefty, he's going to put a tefillin on his right hand. It says you put it on the left. Talk about someone who can, but there's a word for that in English. What's the word? Ambidextrous. Of course, why not make it more complicated? So we'll make it right. So he can use both hands, so that then he has to do that. Tosis brings a very interesting discussion. What happens if he's a lefty, but he writes with his right? This is very common. I mean, common for lefties. For some lefties, they do almost everything with the left hand, but they write with the right. Tosis wants to say, uksaftom, ukshartom, the kshira has no ksivo. So if you use the right for ksiva, you should use, then you consider to be a righty. Discussion of the Rishonim. This brings it over here. Says more times Menachos al yotcho the kiboiris. What is kiboiris? Rashi, it's a long taste over here because Tosis comes to explain this. There's a two lashonis and laws. Rashi calls it badroin, and Tosis calls it kudo. Rashi Tosis, we're talking about the area over here, but Tosis brings another sheet in the Rishonim that holds that the tefillin is supposed to be done over here, between the elbow and the hand. There's such a sheet that Tosis brings it. Tosis goes to Uriah is not. We do on the top part of the hand, and that is that's what the length of Tosis comes to prove it. So says the Gemara, "Menachos a kud. What's menachos? You put it on your head. Where is exactly? Is the place where a head of a baby is soft. Someone has two heads. We already put a tefillin. Either go to Golus, or you get a cheru. In other words, why? You're asking a question, is that a good question? The question is impossible. Nobody has two heads. So what are you asking the question? That's the ask. Says the Gemara, also came this person. I have a baby that was born that has two heads. How much should I give the kohen? Should I give the kohen for a kohen? You have to give five slime. He has two heads. What should you do? Also, Sabo came this Sabo. You have to give double, 5 for each head. If you give a pidyon ben, you do it for someone who's nitra. They actually die. Tosis learns nitra after he's a treifer. He's sick. So Talmud Loimer, we learned on Zamzal base. Chilik says that you don't give this for a treifer. So why are you paying giving it if the baby is sure going to die? When it says sure going to die. So according to Pshat is here we have two live heads. How he's going to die, but right now it did not die. According to Rashi, according to Tosis, treifer stam you don't give, but two heads it depends on the head. You have to give 5 slides. It's big chiddush Tosis. So that's you have to give it. But what do you see over here? Look, we bring the story tell you that there was two heads. You see two heads. So that's what he's asking. Where do you put the tefillin? Now in other words, well, there's two heads, so also the tefillin should be in two heads. Now the Tosis brings over here, brings a medrash that he says Boil Maz they usually don't have two heads, but Ashmidoi was a story who brought from the land, he took out of the world, out of the earth, a person with 2 heads. He brought the Shloimeh HaMelech. And this person had 2 heads. He married a regular woman, and they had 2 babies. One was a 2-head baby, one was a 1-head baby. And the shaila was, how do you split the Yerusha? You split half and half, or 2/3 and a third. So Shloimeh, what he did was he poured boiling hot water on one head. The other head started screaming. He said, "You see, you're the same body. There's only considered to be only one." So we see like obviously some things considered to be a 2-head, some things is not. Now there is a discussion of the place. What?
This guy's wife points out.
Oh, double area. The discussion that the place can bring that there is such thing as Siamic twins that are connected. What?
Siamese.
The place keeps saying that is not the case of the Gemara. Because the Gemara talking about a regular person who has 2 heads. That doesn't exist in our world called this way. Some exception, if it exists, it's going to die. What there is talking about 2 people that are connected. 2 separate people that are connected in one body that you do have. It's not exactly 2 heads. That's why that you could have in the world. Yep. Says the Gemara, that's the place where you put the tefillin. We know the Torah Abanon, the height of the hand. Next to the Rashi says, next to the shoulder. It's up there, it's on the hand itself. You compare it to the head means at the top. The top of the hand.
How do you know it means one down like this? Maybe it's one down like this.
I think more understands. You talk when a person stands regularly. Oh, 1 second. So he says, sorry. It says it has to be something that only you can see, that nobody else can see. That's why you put it up there in the hand. Why? Because that's what's covered, right? The idea is that here we usually cover your hand, so the tefillin is covered. On the hand over here, it's always revealed. So,
this is besides covering it on its own. You're covering it with the cover.
Probably. Put it on your heart and you tie the tefillin. Shesibo connected the legs next to the heart. So that's how you know it's up there. Makes it clear that's right next to the heart. So he had in his hand, he had a wound. So in order to let it heal, there was a hole in his shoulder, in his sleeve. And you see the tefillin. It says you should be covered. In other words, not that it needs to be covered. It needs to be in a place where usually it's covered. If it's not covered, it's still okay.
But this hole was in his goof or in his back?
In his back. So you can see the tefillin. So it's fine, because as long as it's a place that usually covered, even though right now it's not covered, it's still okay. So that's enough. A person has short sleeves, you want to cover the tefillin, but if it's not covered, it's still okay. We know how do you know it's the height of the head? Maybe it means between the eyes, right over here. Between the eyes? On the nose. It means not to go and shave your head for a mace in a way that's ashlosa. So there's the top of the head where you shave your head. We don't mean it's I'm going to tell you hanach tefillin b'yad, hanach tefillin b'rosh. Put tefillin in the hand and on the head. The head is the hand. I mean, it's a book that you have only one type of negoyim. But tzaras, you have tzaras on the hair, tzaras on the body. It's different tzaras. In the hand, you have only one tzaras on the body. So here on the hand is because you have only one tzaras, which is the hair. You have flesh, you have hair, which is the eyelashes. So you can have different hairs. You have different types of tzaras So it needs to be one type you learn from there. That we're talking about in an area where it's only one saras. From there you learn that what the tefillin needs to be done on top of that. Says more about tzitzis. We're going back now. We finished tefillin. Now we're going to back to tzitzis. About tzitzis me'akos v'zu shabbos mitzvah. So we found machlokes in the Mishnah. What happens if you have is each one of the tzitzis a mitzvah on its own, or they're all one big mitzvah? That's what the machlokes in the Mishnah. The Mishnah brought. See back inside. Find it. It says that teacher b'tzitzit shebakos v'zu down the akish abos mitzvahas shvolom ba'abos ma'ama mitzvahs. So do you treat it as 4 different mitzvahs or as one big mitzvah? Says the Gemara. My now, what's the thing between the two understandings? More brings a few of communities. Omar Yosef sadin b'tzitzis iko b'nai. What is sadin b'tzitzis? It means when you have shatnez, meaning you have a tzitzis and the sadin. It's a tzemer repishtim. You have the strings made out of wool. The bag is made out of linen. So you're allowed to do it if it's b'tzitzis. You have a special thing you can do shatnez, but only if you're doing tzitzis kilchosa. So according to Madoma, they have that 4 tzitzis is one big mitzvah. I need to make sure everything is kosher to make it right. According to the other Madoma, you only have 3. It's also going to be okay to do it. It says the Gemara.
What's that? Sadin is the white string.
Sadin is the white.
White strings.
No, is the bag. Rabbi, you know my ties bas chamesh ika b'nai. What happens if you have 5 corners? Meaning Rashi explains that one corner he cut, so he created 2 corners over there. So then what? What's gonna be over there? So now the discussion is that so you have a mitzvah of 4, and if you have 5 corners, you still have to do 4 because it's one mitzvah 4. But if the holds it's separate mitzvahs, if another mitzvah, in other words, each corner needs to have his own mitzvah. Really goes out of tzitzis, which is not done correctly. It's chayav chatos because it's not why is he wearing it? I'm kind of tzitzis. So he says here, what happens if you have 3 out of 4? According to Madoma, the holds are 3 different mitzvahs. It's okay to go on Shabbos. According to Madoma, they need that you have to have all 4. Now you can go on Shabbos. Maybe they don't go on Shabbos. I never heard. Okay, could be. What does it mean? He cut it. Rashi explains over here about Tziklima. He cut one of the corners into 2. He's not putting them in tzitzis. Shavitas bas chamesh. He just made a chamesh kindness, which is still chayav tzitzis. What's tzayik? Rashi says it was very long and he folded the tzitzis. Right? That's what he did. So lo yav v'lo klum. Rashi brings like, come on, that tzayik limo, he took away the conflicts, he took away the corners. He removed the corners of it. So took push from Rashi. If he folded it to the talis, or that he took away the corners.
He rounded it.
Yeah. Rashi, we're talking about, it looks like he cut it. He didn't really cut it. He just folded it in a way you don't see the corners. So the Gemara was like, he didn't do anything. My time is the Shayadam. The fact that it's folded, it's still considered to be longer. So if you talk about it, what? Yeah, it's a renovation. Yeah, not only that, if it was a corner and he actually cut it, then it's also going to be okay. Here we're talking, he folded it. And he left it that way, so it's there. Or it says once he folded it that way, it does not work. So if it's too long, he needs to fold it. He needs to put the tzitzis on the edge, not on the folded part. And according to Secretary Rash, the fact that you took away the corners, you still have tzitzis because the corners are still there.
I was saying that by folding it is not a loophole.
Yeah, exactly.
They put tzitzis on the original corner.
Oh, that's the first Secretary Rash is the original corners. According to the first one, exactly.
Second size, the new corner.
On the first, on the same Rashi, they rounded that where the corner still have tzitzis.
Meaning that by going like this,
he still had no. So,
he's going to put.
No, here we took his no corner. He made it round. mirror around, so he's still be chayav b'tzitzis in the original quote. Both basically go to the original one. Shaila is, what is he trying to do? He's trying to be pointer.
He do it now. So regardless, he has to put it here.
Yeah.
But now he folded it like this. And
Still chayav there.
so what's the difference between both?
No, the first child wanted to say he didn't want to be pointing himself at tzitzis. All he wanted to do, he wanted to create a new corner. He folded it. So now he wants to say, okay, here's my new corner. You put it over here. Say no, you have to put it over here. But according to the second shot, he wanted to get away from tzitzis. So no, now you didn't get away from tzitzis.
It's just a child in its kabbalah.
Yeah. Says the Gemara, Vitnan, we'll see the more why Rashi needs the second shot. We'll see the more. Now we call it Chamos is a Tsurus Toiris, Chutz Michel Arvi, which means the fact that it's Tsurus, we're talking about that it's tied together. They're connected together because we're looking at them, even though they're tied together, they're tied in, and it causes a base kibul because they can open easily. So you don't consider it to be base kibul. So over here, I tie it up. Doesn't take it away. It's still there. If he really doesn't want it, just cut it off. So the fact you didn't cut it off, it just tied it up, that shows you that it's okay. So the problem is we have a Gemara Kamon of Malif, that there the Gemara says that when you completely sew it, so you do make it. If I have a baguette, then I made it like this, so now the new tzitz should be over here. So we have to say that it depends how strong did he sew it, and did he put it together? How strong? According to the second Rash, we're talking about something that's trying to avoid tzitzis.
It's going like temporary or
right.
Temporary.
I'm sure our is 4 different mitzvahs. Some of you do Amashua, we pass it this way. We don't pass it. He's but we don't pass it this way. He was going after Maravashi and the Shabbos the Regel. The Regel is a day that he used to get a big drasha. He get a big drasha to all the people. He's going after him. And the string of his tzitzis fell off. He didn't realize. He didn't tell him, realize that your tzitzis fell off. So once he reached the house, he said, you should know that your tzitzis fell off over there. If you would tell me, I'll take out my tzitzis over there. I was walking with tzitzis that not kosher. So we say the cover the brias, taking away your baggage in the middle of the street is not proper. And we said the cover the brias takes away the lois Torah. Only but they're abundant. Meaning, if the abundant says not to do something, and you have for the brias takes away the diso they're abundant. What? No, because we're talking about the middle of the street. It was the middle of the street. And suddenly the tzitz fell off. So you would remove his bag in there. You would take out his shirt. So it's improper to do it. It's not cover the brias to do that. So Rashi brings Isur D'Rabbanan. Let's take for example, carrying stones on Shabbos. He used to do it for the bathroom. So there, if a person he didn't designate stones, he needs to go to the bathroom. We're allowed to do because only Isur D'Rabbanan. He told him, in other words, he told him right in the right place. So you should know it just fell off. Why are you telling me this? Because we won't take it off. Go look for the brias. Says no, but the cover the brias. So he said, in other words, ask this question. What do you mean? Here, it's only Isur D'Rabbanan that we say that for the brias takes it away. Here it's not Isur D'Rabbanan. Says the Gemara, Chanami comes D'Rabbanan. It was also the case over here was like it would be like by us and Lawrence. Lawrence by us is not the Kula Alma. I mean, almost the Kula Alma. Almost. There's one sheet of the holds that anytime you have 60 downwards, which is happening. But in general, the push of Shad, the way you pass the halacha, almost places in the world are not going to be a Rishus Rabim. So it comes D'Rabbanan. So it's only the D'Rabbanan. So again, it comes back to the thing, should for the brias, until you could carry it. That's over here. So we'll stop over here. We ended the third parak, and Be'ez Hashem starting parak, the parak Revi, which continues on to speak about the Chutei Tchelis of the Tzitzis, which we'll get to Be'ez Hashem. Otherwise, I have a wonderful day. Hold on.